Hey guys, Todd from Great Escape Farms here. Today I'm actually doing a new video, which is an update to a previous one I'd done talking about protecting your plants and stuff from deer and other varmints that like to get into your plants and everything else. So this is my food forest. It doesn't look like much that way, but this way I have much larger plants. And the majority of the stuff in here is edible. And if it's edible for me and I like it, then it's edible for deer and they like it. So I have to keep them out at least until they get established. Some things I'll have to always keep some kind of protection on. So the way it's done in this area where it's very, very dense, instead of going around and protecting each individual plant, what I do is I protect the area. And the way I do that is I have fencing right here, 2x4 fencing. And that 2x4 fencing is only about 2 foot high, and that keeps the groundhog out. I had a groundhog that was coming in and munching on stuff as well. So believe it or not, that actually does keep him out. This is very, very compacted stone right here, so he's not going to dig under that. What he was doing was just walking across. So this managed to keep him out. I realized that in some areas where you have soft ground or grass or something coming up to it, a groundhog could dig right under it, in which case you would have to go deeper with it and kind of go down and then come out about a foot or two. So put a 4-foot fence in, go down about a foot and come out a foot and be up above the ground by about 2 foot, and that would keep the groundhog out. So back to the deer. So the deer, I have the lower fence here to keep critters out. Just up above that, I have an electric string, and just up above that, I have a second one right here. So I have 2 on my outer edges, and a deer could easily hop that. But what else I have is I have strings running about every 4 foot inside of there. And I only have 1 string there, and and then on the back side I have the 2 strands like I have on the front side here. And let's see, I'm coming up on 3 years. I'm over 2.5 years here with this food forest, and I have had 1 deer get in here, and it was obvious that he was in a hurry to get out. He got in on that end up there. He came across, he broke 2 strings when he left, and in the process he bent one of my T-posts when he was getting out. So he was obviously in a hurry to get out, and I'm guessing all his buddies were there to watch, because after I came back and repaired that, I have not had a single deer in this area. So they have definitely been respecting this area. What I think part of it is they don't like to feel claustrophobic, and having the line so close in between here, and they're issues with depth perception and all, it just looks like a confined space, and they don't like a confined space, so they don't want to get in. If they were to get in, and one obviously did, it was in a hurry to get out and never came back again. So what I have here is a solar charger. I just bought this from Tractor Supply. So far I'm running on 3 years here. It's doing fine. The 2 leads come out and it connects in the back there. Initially I had it in the back, but it was difficult to turn on and off, so I moved it up front and just ran the wires underground. The charge, so it is totally off grid here, the solar panel, and there's a big battery in there. Totally runs it. I don't have to have any external electric. It doesn't matter if there's a power outage or whatever, this stays up. And during the summer it puts 9,000 volts. In the winter it puts 7,000 volts. Across here it is 9,000, 7,000 volts, low current. So I mean, it's not going to kill somebody, but it will certainly get your attention and deter anything from trying to get in here. So this has worked great for me for the larger areas. For individual plants, I'm gonna go up in the yard and show you some of the things that you have to deal with there, not only with deer browse, but also rubs and scrapes. So let me move up and show you that area. Okay, one of the ways I protect the individual plants, as you notice, this is just out in the, it's in the orchard, but it'd be too much to protect the entire orchard. So what I do is I wrap the plants themselves in 2x4 fencing, and this one is 6 foot high. I do have some 4 foot high fencing. I don't see any around me right now. I'll run over to some of that in a second. So 4 foot high is plenty high enough. I realized that after I'd already bought a roll of 6 foot. And what I do is I just wrap it around, I stake it up, and that prevents them from doing any rubs. It also prevents them from doing deer browse. So if you notice, there's a bunch of branches and all on the ground, or not on the ground, but down lower here. This tree looked just like this one over here at one point in time. And the deer, as soon as I removed the fence, they browsed around it and made it more tree-like than bush-like. So in a way, that's actually good. They will eventually, when they get really hungry, get into these lower branches that they can get at, and they will eventually trim it up to about the 3.5, 4 foot level there. So that's just natural for them. The white protective coating that I have here, it goes around. It is just a piece of plastic that sets on it. It will grow with the tree, so it won't strangle the tree, and it protects the tree from rubs and scrapes, which is what the buck does to scrape off the velvet on their new antlers. They do that in the August-September time frame. Well, actually the time frame is going to vary a little bit depending on exactly where your location is. And it's also going to protect from any rodents on the bottom. During the winter time, when the rodents get hungry, mice and even some rabbits and stuff, they chew the cambium around a tree, and they will go all the way around. And if they do get all the way around on the cambium, it will kill the tree, because the cambium is what sends all the nutrient up the tree. And I have lost trees because rodents ate all the way around. So this protects from the rub and the scrapes and from the rodents, so that helps. There is another option, which is a tube that I found online, and it ties together with a zip tie. This works as well. I remove these in the summertime when I don't have to worry about it, but I put it on in the fall and remove it in the springtime. So that's just another option for you. I really haven't priced these out. I think those would be a little bit cheaper, the white ones, than these, but these are much easier to put on, because once you have it cut and to the right length for a plant, I mean, it's just real easy to put that on. Let's see, I had promised you a 4 foot, actually here's a 3 foot fence over here. This is a tea plant that I just put in, and this is obviously a smaller plant, only down to that level, and this fence right here is just fine. Over here I have a 6 foot on this pear tree, and then I have a, oh, that's 6 as well. Here I have a buffalo berry over here, and it's on 4 foot. And even if this grows up above, a deer generally like to have their head down. They're not sticking it way up high. So for a deer to stick its head above the 4 foot mark, it's got to be really, really starving in order to do that. And it's just something that I have not seen around here with all the lush vegetation that we have here. So let me show you some pictures of rubs and scrapes. I have had, like I say, I've lost some plants. So this one here I lost a couple years back. Actually, I have 2 that I've lost a couple of years back from the rubs and scrapes, where they just show it, or where they go through and rub it all the way around, and they rub the cambium totally off. In this picture right here, this was actually this year. It is a willow that I put in, and this was taken in early September. No, I'd say mid-September of 2017. And fortunately, I caught it before they got too bad on it. They only got about 3/4 of the way around. The tree is still doing good. This is about a month later, so it's still surviving, and I now have it wrapped, so it will do okay. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, let me wander down here to my garden, because this one is done a little bit differently here. Again, I have a fence. This one goes up 4 foot high, and this one keeps the groundhog out, doesn't keep rabbits out. And I'm in the process of working on keeping rabbits out with chicken wire. So I have the 4 foot fence here that's 4 foot high, and then you can see right here I have the chicken wire, and the chicken wire will keep the rabbit out. It's just, it stops right here. I'm about 3/4 of the way done. I just need to get the last quarter there. Again, a 4-foot high fence, a deer could jump right over, but if you notice, I have barbed wire up above, and the barbed wire goes up to 8 foot. And what I'm doing is I'm growing, you can see it over there, I'm growing grapes on it, and the deer have been browsing the grapevines, but they'll only browse up so high, and then they don't like to have their heads up that high. So if I can get the grapevines like that one right there to grow up above the fence, I'd be more than happy with that. I get grapes, I have a wall to keep deer out, I have a little bit of shade so I'm not getting all day afternoon and evening sun in here. I'm only getting morning and early afternoon sun, so that would help me all the way around here. Let's see, as far as critter proofing, that is the main things right here. So just, you have to put a barrier between them and you. And some folks have said, well, why don't you just fence off your property? Well, I can't show you the back part there because you can't see it through the grapes, but that would be talking all the way down to that corner there, all the way across here, all the way down the far side there, back behind the garage, which you can barely see there, and then back across. And I have probably 3 or 4 acres, some more acreage that I will be clearing and adding to it. So there's 27 acres total in this homestead. And like I say, right now only 3 or 4 cleared, but that's more investment than I want to do. I'm better off doing the smaller investment right here instead of trying to fence in the entire yard here, or the entire portion that I'm actually using. So that's it for critter protection. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much and have a great day.